Welcome back, everybody, to The Lead. My name is Harlan Dugan, and today, guys, with the scouting combine over the head of the offseason for the NFL, we're going to do a very special Texans mock draft 1.0. We're going to go straight to it. For the 57th pick in the NFL draft, your Houston Texans select cornerback Damon Arnette from Ohio State University. He's a 6', 195-pound cornerback. And what's great about this, guys, is he's a physical, tight, man-to-man coverage cornerback. He's going to punch you in the face. He's a good tackler. He's very disruptive on routes. He's very grabby. Yes, he causes penalties, but his playing style is absolutely worth it. And one thing about him is he will let you know how good he is. When he tackles you, he lays the boom. Guys, this guy's a very physical corner. It's something the Texans need, another secondary, because we were one of the worst ranked secondaries. I think we were the worst ranked secondary in the league. And Damon Arnette would come in, help fix a problem right away. You look through different scouts and everything, what I've done, his biggest NFL comparison is Darius Slay. Darius Slay's on the trade block right now, and if he becomes anything like Darius Slay, that's going to be huge for this Texans team. To me, his comparison is similar, not all the way, but similar to Garyon Conley, who's on this Texans team. No, it's not because he also went to Ohio State, but they have very similar movements on their cornerback playing style. Damon Arnette is very great with his hip movement and his feet movement, and he's a very instinctual cornerback. This guy's going to bring a lot of interceptions and a lot of pass deflections for your Houston Texans. With the 102nd pick in the third round, your Houston Texans select Cam Akers, running back out of Florida State. Guys, Cam Akers could possibly be one of the best running backs in this draft. But why are we taking him in the third round? He'll probably be gone. Yes and no. The biggest problem for Cam Akers really wasn't him. It was his offensive line for Florida State. They were a very shaky offensive line, and with that, Cam Akers still produced. This year, he had a total of 1,800 scrimmage yards, which was a top 5 finish, 1,400 rushing yards, 400 receiving yards. The guy can do both. What's great about him and what he reminds me of is Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde was a very patient runner at times where he would wait to hit the hole. And that's what I see a lot in Cam Akers. He's a guy that waits for his turn, waits, and then hits the hole. He's a very patient runner. He loves contact, guys. He averaged 5 yards a carry in 2019, and 80% of his yards came after contact. That is crazy stat, guys. 80% of his yards came after hits. Like, the dude looks for it. He's great at receiving, great at running, a good fit for this Houston Texans team, great size, and he's a solid blocking running back. I think he could get better at being a blocker, but that's not what we need him here for. Even if you re-sign Carlos Hyde, yes, you already have Duke Johnson, I think you still need a running back no matter what, because if you think about it, guys, if Carlos Hyde or Duke Johnson were hurt last year, what's happening to your running back core, right? So you need depth at running back. I think they need to sign a few free agents, but I still believe that they need to go after someone in the draft, and that's why Cam Akers should be the guy the Houston Texans are hunting for in the third round. With the 112th pick in the fourth round, our Houston Texans select Darrell Taylor out of Tennessee. Guys, I'm about to rave about Darrell Taylor. He is one of my favorite players coming out in this draft, and NFL scouts are about to rave about him too. They're going to get goosebumps when they see the way he is built, his athleticism, and the potential, untapped potential Darrell Taylor has. Guys, somehow, some way, he will be a Houston Texan. Why do I say that? Chris Rumph is why. Chris Rumph was the outside linebackers coach for Tennessee, and now he is on your Texan staff as the linebackers coach. And he should be in everyone's ears, especially O'Brien, for drafting Darrell Taylor out of Tennessee. He is a prototypical 3-4 linebacker that could also play some zone coverage. How he can play zone coverage is because he's so fast. And a speedy linebacker that can also play zone. He can spy the quarterback, and he can get to the quarterback. He's perfect for this now day and age where you have these more mobile quarterbacks. Darrell Taylor can catch up to them. He can do everything he wants. Guys, I'm just so excited about Darrell Taylor. And the possibility of him being a Houston Texan excites me and should excite you, because with him and Mercy and Watt, he could wreak some havoc, and he can do a lot of good things for you. He had a breakout year in 2018, dropped 8 sacks. Good year in 2019, dropped 8.5 sacks. I mean, right now he's projected somewhere between the 3rd or 4th rounds. And to me, he'll probably go higher in this draft because of what he is capable of doing. And his versatility for the 3-4 linebacker position is going to be just untapped. And our Houston Texans should be excited for Darrell Taylor. Us fans will be excited for Darrell Taylor because he will be a Houston Texan, and he'll possibly contend for Defensive Rookie of the Year. With the 131st pick in the NFL Draft, our Houston Texans select Jabari Zuniga, outside linebacker out of Florida University. Guys, we're going to be dipping into this edge rusher pool for the draft, and we're going to be dipping our toes very deep in, especially in free agency and the draft. What do we need? We need guys that could get to the quarterback. And like I mentioned with Darrell Taylor earlier, Jabari Zuniga could do exactly that. Now, what can he do? Put the film on. What can he do? He has a rare combo of power and speed. He's a guy that can rush the quarterback and also maintain leverage against the run. Jabari Zuniga is a very freak athlete as well, and he's 6'3", 250 frame. A lot of scouts are going to like him. One of his biggest knacks and why he will probably be in the 4th round. And there's not a lot of play tape on him this year. In 2019, he had a high ankle sprain that took him out, sidelined him for a lot of top competition. You know, the SEC has everybody. And Zuniga did still perform well, and he performed well last year as well. He had about 6.5 sacks in 2018. And this guy, like I said, he's a similar freak to Darrell Taylor, but his potential isn't as high as Taylor's. Zuniga is a guy that has great extension when getting to blocks. He knows how to get around the edge very fast. Another guy that knows how to anticipate the snap count. And like I said, a rare combo of power and speed. What does that mean? He knows how to rip and dip. What does rip and dip mean? He can get into the linebackers, get a hand on them, and he knows how to use his power to leverage his speed, because his speed is what his strongest point is, guys. Yeah, we have Jacob Martin with the speed, but let's bring in a guy that can do both with power, speed, and stop the run. This guy can be very scary for you guys, and he wasn't utilized too well at Florida, being in a 4-3. He was more in sub packages. He's going to be a 3-4 edge rusher. Let him do what he does, get to the quarterback. It's exactly what we need for our Houston Texans. With the 173rd pick in the NFL Draft, our Houston Texans select James Prash, wide receiver out of SMU. James Prash is a very smaller type of receiver. He's 5'10", 196. But I love this guy. I took the film and watched it, and he is amazing, guys. He has great head fakes. He has quick feet, and he's a physical receiver for his height. He reminded me, and I'm not saying this is who he's going to be, but he reminded me like Steve Smith from Carolina Panthers all the way back in the day. Steve Smith was a great route runner and physical receiver that didn't mind getting in the nitty-gritty, right? James Prash is someone that could be very similar for you. He is projected to be a very good slot receiver specialist. And with his route trees, his physicality, he's a good blocker for a receiver. A lot of corners, if you see the film, take him for granted for his physicality, and he knows how to get through it. He's great with his feet, great with head fakes, great at running routes, and I didn't even get to the best part. What he does great, guys, is catch the ball. He knows how to catch over the shoulder, in the dirt, outside the numbers, inside the numbers, on the sidelines. This guy can catch anything you throw at him. And I think Deshaun Watson will really take a next step as a quarterback with a great slot receiver. Now, yes, you have Hopkins and you have Fuller and you have Stills. And yeah, you do have Tim Kelly running this offense. But you can never have enough weapons in the NFL, and James Prash could be a real diamond in the rough for us and a real sleeper pick in the 5th round. That's why I think our Houston Texans, who do need a receiver, should go after James Prash. With the 250... 50? It's not even 250, it's 245.
Alright, here we go. With the 245 pick...
With the 245th pick in the NFL Draft, our Houston Texans select Niles Pinckney, defensive tackle out of Clemson University. So, yes, he's another Clemson guy, and our Texans love picking Clemson guys. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's be serious. Niles Pinckney is 6'1", 300-pounder out of Clemson. He was mostly a fill-in for spot needs like stuffing the run. What is Mr. Pinckney really good at? Stuffing the run. And at the moment, you don't know what the Texans are going to do with DJ Reader, whether they're going to franchise tag him, whether they're going to give him his money, or they're going to let him walk. They did re-sign Brandon Dunn. I like it. Very cheap deal. It was very much needed. But Niles Pinckney is not coming here to replace DJ Reader. That's not the expectations for him. He's coming in here to potentially be a starter, but most importantly, create depth at the position for defensive tackle. Niles Pinckney is a really good run stuffer. He has quick feet, very athletic, and raw potential. He is not finished yet as a player in the NFL. He's not finished, guys. He's unpolished. He has raw talent. This guy could be a very solid pick in the 7th round. It's nothing that's going to excite you as fans, but he's going to be the guy that's going to do all the dirty work for your other stars in your defense. Niles Pinckney is going to be a really solid, rock-hard pick in the 7th round for the Houston Texans. So that's a wrap, everybody, for the Texans Mock Draft 1.0. I hope y'all like it. Make sure you comment below, like, subscribe, share out to everybody. And remember, go Texans. Y'all have a blessed day.